Welcome everyone to this spectacular weekend of powerful information. You're going to spend 2 days rubbing shoulders with some very, very smart, sharp people. Matter of fact, in the room that you're going to be sitting in today, from this room today, people will be earning millions and millions and millions of dollars. Over the next 5 to 10 years, there may be billionaires who come from the room that you're sitting in right now. So network with each other and talk with each other and listen very carefully as the speakers from the stage share with you what has taken them a lifetime to learn about how to succeed, especially in the internet market. Now let me introduce myself. My name is Robert Allen. I'm the best-selling author of some New York Times bestsellers. My first book is the all-time best-selling real estate book on how small investors invest a little bit of money and make millions of dollars in real estate investing. And although in America the real estate market goes up and down, you can make money in any market, in any country in the world, if you just know some simple principles. So maybe we'll have an opportunity for me to share some more of that with you later. But then I wrote my second book, which was called Creating Wealth, also a huge New York Times bestseller, over 1 million copies, and there are very few people in the world who have ever sold 1 million copies of a book. I've sold 1 million copies of the book 3 or 4 times, and Creating Wealth is one of my favorites. And then I wrote the book Multiple Streams of Income, how to generate a lifetime of unlimited wealth. And I want to share with you today some of the secrets that I've learned over, of course, I'm 64 years old now, so I've learned a lot about what works and what doesn't work. I've failed so many times. You know, as an entrepreneur, we want to start a business and we want to make money and we want to, market products, and we start from scratch, and sometimes we succeed and many times we fail. And what you're going to learn here this weekend is that if you'll just do a few things right and avoid a few of the bad things, you can make a fortune. And you should. And it's possible for you and everyone sitting in this audience today. Now, the person who invited me to come here was my favorite friend, Tony. Tony Chen is the way I refer to him, or the 8-figure guy. Now, Tony has been teaching Chinese people, and in fact, lots of people all over the world for several years on how to become an 8-figure person. What is an 8-figure person? Well, that's a person who makes at least 10 million. Now, you want to think about the number 8 figures. It could be 20 million or 30 million or 40 million or 50 million. All those are 8 figures, aren't they? Well, in this audience, you're going to find people around you who are going to be part of the process of creating a $10 million fortune or more. And we're going to be sharing with you here at this event how you could be part of that group. Would you like to be making $10 million yourself? Well, I've done it, and Tony's done it, and the real secret to success is to find somebody who has done it, not somebody who just talks about it, not just somebody that thinks they can do it or wants to do it. You need to find somebody who has done it. And so when I found out that Tony was going to come to my house, he was being brought by a friend of mine, and I came to meet Tony for the very first time, and he says, well, I'm the 8-figure guy. And I said, well, let's make 8 figures together. I mean, I've done it before. I've done it many, many times, actually. Throughout my entire career, when I started with a young, small investor, I was about 30 years old, started to invest in real estate, made my 8 figures there, and then I started to market books and investments and made my 8 figures in books and investments and in the stock market, the internet, network marketing. There's so many ways of doing it. And I've made 4 specific fortunes myself. And each fortune is a different 8-figure fortune. And so when I saw that Tony was going to talk to me about how he'd made his fortune on the internet, and I've, of course, myself, I've also made, maybe 9 figures on the internet, I said, let's joint venture together. And let's get together and let's put some people in front of us and let's teach people how to do what we've done. Now, do you want to be an 8-figure person? Well, in my career, when I started from the very beginning, I had no idea how powerful that income streams could be if I just set a goal to be a millionaire. And I wanted to be a millionaire. That's just what I did. I didn't realize that as I started to share my ideas and buy my real estate and do my businesses, that I would write books and teach seminars that would eventually market over $1 billion worth of information. That's 10 figures, not 8, but 10. And of course, I didn't net all of that money. It's not money that went to my bottom line, but in terms of selling information around the world for the last 30 years, I've taught hundreds of thousands of people in live seminars and book purchases and training programs and online downloadable programs, and you're going to learn about one of those today. What I want you to do today, though, is not, Tony and I are not trying to brag about what we've done. We're trying to show you by our example what you can do. We love it when a student of ours, or somebody who is inspired by our story, uses that as inspiration to go start their own business. And I've helped thousands of people become millionaires all around the world. And when I gather those success stories, they're just so precious to me because I realize I had some influence. I didn't just exist and pass away without having made an impact on the planet. And so not only do I want you, and Tony and I want to work with you, to be able to create 8 to 10 figure fortunes for yourself, but we want to teach you how to have influence, how to change the world. And it starts with your world. It starts with your family and your friends, and how because of the wealth that you're beginning to create, you will eventually become wealthy enough to bless their lives. And then you're going to share with them and share with other people who are less fortunate than you. What I call that is becoming the enlightened entrepreneur. To be an enlightened is really a very Chinese concept. It's a very Asian concept. It means a person who thinks more about others than they think about themselves. Now, I think about myself a lot, and I do very well, thank you very much. This is my home. Welcome to our living room. It's pretty big. In a minute, I'll have Tony walk around and I'll show it to you just a little bit. I take care of myself very well. But you know what I do first? I've learned that if you're a giver, if you'll find people who are less fortunate and help them first before you spend money on yourself, that some magical, powerful influence comes over you and you start to be more successful. You stand a little taller, you feel a little better about yourself. So it's not just about you making millions and having the fanciest cars and living in the biggest houses, and of course this is a pretty big house, but it's the fact that you know that you've taken a portion of that money and you've spread it around the world to help people who need it more than you do. And I call that the enlightened entrepreneur, a person who makes money. And I challenge you to make some serious money on the internet and then give the first 10% of it away. Give it to whatever cause or church or charity or philanthropy that you believe in yourself. And become the spokesperson for that, for the good that can be done with that money. Now, that might be a little too, too big thinking right now, because some of you are saying, hey, I want to just go make some money for myself. And I remember what that was like when I got started. I was a young kid, just out of college, looking for a job, couldn't find a job, and stumbled into real estate investing. And as they say, the rest is history. I made a fortune from just that one thing, that I couldn't find a job and had to go make some money in real estate. Well, you're going to learn here today how you can get started. I guarantee you're going to hear some ideas today that may change your life. You're going to be transformed in lots of different ways by thinking bigger, feeling more connected and more enlightened, and coming away from this event knowing what to do, knowing how you can interact with people so you can network with people to take you to the next level in your life. So I want to thank Tony for inviting me to be here. I love Asians. I love the Chinese people. And my first trip to China was in May of 2008, just before the Olympics. It was my 60th birthday party. I absolutely fell in love with the Chinese people. You know, here in America, when we talk about China and we talk about Taiwan, we talk about Asians, you know, we sometimes just don't understand as well as we should what the Asian mindset is like. And I'll tell you one thing the Asian mindset is like. It's hard work, it's dedication, it's focus, it's networking like nobody in the world. And I'm telling you, Asia is the future. That's why I'm here today, because I want to be networking with people who control the purse strings for the future. China and Asia, Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, Korea, the whole area of China, of Asia is incredible. And I want to thank you for inviting me. Thanks, Tony, for inviting me. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little wander through my house. And hopefully I'll invite you to come here one of these days. This is just the party room. There are a lot of other rooms in the house. So, Tony, just pick up your, let's see, you have to have a, let's see. Come and let's go look at it.
Let's go.
So, let me take you a quick look through my house. You know, everybody has their dreams, things they want to accomplish. We've always wanted to have a nice house. And we've tried several times, and you know, the economies took us up and down, but finally we just said we're going to go for it. So this is the home we built. This is where Tony and I do our brainstorming. And welcome.
So beautiful.
This is our family room. And look at this carved fireplace. This hand carved out of wood, black walnut. Isn't that pretty? You ever seen one like that before? So let's walk outside. This is our party room. This is where we have parties here from time to time. Weather's a little gray today. It's not the best weather, but hey. You know, part of the process of being successful is thinking successful. You know, stretching your thinking so that you could imagine yourself owning a home like this. Now, maybe it isn't your dream to own a home like this, but it was ours. Whatever your dream happens to be, you have to make a decision that you want to see yourself that way before you get there. I mean, you have to imagine a home or your dream in all five senses. You have to imagine it being something that you'd be proud to live in, right? So this is where we spend all our time. And unfortunately, I had to leave this house to go to Taiwan to talk to you. You know, imagine me actually wanting to leave this house. Well, whatever your dream is, let Tony and I help you get there. It starts with the way you think and what you do and how you persist until you get it. It's my hope to be able to working with you more closely, and I'm looking forward to seeing a few of you here in my home, because I've got a beautiful theater in here that I want to show you. Okay.
超级漂亮.
Who's that?
Should we go in?
Yeah. You know, let's come this way. This is my office. It's where I spend most of my time. And this is where we do our trainings. So I have people come here, they got 20 seats, and I bring top leaders from all around the world. They come sit in these seats, and I get to work with them and train them and coach them and guide them. Works out to be a very fun experience. Let's see. So I get to, we can go online. We can do searching. I mean, what do you want to search? Let's search 8 figures. 8 figures. Because you want to make 8 figures, don't you? And we can bring up, notes and. So, that's where we want to take you. This is where everybody else is. They're all down here at the very bottom. In order to get to the top, right up there where the 8 figures are, it requires some special strategies. It requires some special kinds of attitudes. And it requires special kind of connections. Because you don't get up here unless you have attitudes, connections, and techniques and strategies. And it's not easy to stay up there either, because the world's constantly changing with the internet. Every single day it's changing. So you just need to have access to people who are on the cutting edge. That's why I love Tony, because he's on the cutting edge of the way this works. I mean, you want to just find out, get behind somebody who's going to the top of the mountain like that. And so, Tony and I want to show you how to climb this mountain. And when it comes to climbing mountains, I've climbed a lot of mountains. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, well. Recognize that car? Well, me and that car had a meeting one day, and this is my car. That's the tree. And that's where I was. And I'm very lucky to be here. And on that note, I'm still alive. We'll keep teaching you how to make 8 figures. And this is my office. When Tony and I get together, this is where we come. We do our brainstorming there. We're up here on this screen. Life is good. Let's show you how you can have a great life too.